brother went to Notre Dame, and he studied abroad. And he had an absolute blast. He went to London and Jerusalem. And since I was a little kid, I just kind of like looked up to him and heard such good things about it. When I was actually at Notre Dame, it was a lot of work to get the application done, but in the end, it was totally worth it. And,
I really decided to go because I'd never done any traveling before in my life. I'd never even set foot in an airport before I flew to Perth. So it felt like it was just something really new and different that I could try. And the prospect of living in another country for a semester was really appealing to me. It's something I'd probably never get to do again in my life.
It was my best semester in terms of GPA, but it was also a lot of work. And the school over there was nothing to be sniffed at. It was a great school. So.
In conversing with students who didn't study abroad in my major, it seems like they were all very comparable in difficulty and what we learned throughout the semester. I also took Aboriginal history as my history requirement, and I learned a lot about a subject that I knew absolutely nothing about.
It's this one-credit study on Australian culture, and as a part of that, we went down the coast all the way to Albany, which is one of the southernmost points in Australia. We went inland into the outback into Kalgoorlie, which is the mining capital of Western Australia. And as a part of that, yeah, we learned a lot about Australian culture after
the final class I took was a field research course, and all engineers were required to take that course during the semester. That was my best experience.
Perth was an absolutely amazing experience, and comparing to what I've heard from my friends who went up at other places, they had rewarding experiences as well, but I think that Perth was among the best offered by Notre Dame, just in that you get to see a place that not many people have a chance to go to in their lifetime.
It has plenty of green space, a huge park that's bigger than Central Park in New York, directly behind where we lived. So that combined with running and biking trails, plenty of athletic parks and things like that, it made for a great experience. Plus public transportation, they had buses, trains, subways, even ferries because they have a really large bay and river running through the city. It was all really easy to figure out and really cheap for students actually too.
Basically it felt like I came out of the semester with the impression that St. Thomas More College was a family that happened to go to UWA.
The community at UWA, specifically at St. Thomas More College, I thought was very comparable to that of Notre Dame, especially the family atmosphere of the dorms. Overall, I thought the Perth program was a great experience. I would definitely do it again if given the chance. Just the opportunity to live in another culture for 5 months and live in a dorm where you're living not just with other Notre Dame students like at most of the study abroad programs, but you're also living with other Australians and other international students, mostly from Southeast Asia and India, some Europeans too. So I really got to know a lot of different people.
UWA was more of a commuter school. For a school of 20,000 people, there were 5 dorms. So living on campus, we did live on campus. I mean, we were stuck on campus, but it was a different community in that sense.
We went to different places in Western Australia, really places that you wouldn't normally see if you were just a visitor.
And interacting with people who you would never have a chance to interact with in the United States as a whole even.
Everyone at St. Thomas More College was required to do 10 hours of community service. I did my service at the shop front, which was a downtown drop-in center for people to come get a meal in the evening.
It was just a complete change from what we're used to here in America, and it's definitely puts things into perspective for you with how other people live and how other parts of the world are developed.
It's not that you're just living with other Notre Dame students, going to class with just those Notre Dame students, and taking classes with just Notre Dame professors. You're actually studying at an Australian university with other Australians and other international students. So you really branch out a lot more and experience the culture, I think, more fully than you would at a different Notre Dame study abroad program.
If you don't do it, you won't regret it just because you won't know what you've missed out on. But after having done it, I think it's one of the significant events in my life, and I would be an entirely different person had I not done it. And I'm thankful every day that I did.
Make the most of your opportunity. I mean, Notre Dame has a great program for study abroad, and it's something that you'd probably never get to do again in your life. Live in another country for 5 months at a time. You know, really immerse yourself in that culture.